Goodbye. I love you so much. Come over for dinner and then leave again. I don't think they want to come back. Well, if you raise them right, you shouldn't want to.
Started on our backs today. We're going to do a lot of hamstring and hip opening to help you with that. There's some hanging from the power plate right over here. The straps can be helpful in getting your deep stretches and make them a little bit deeper. So it's not a sign that you are weak or tight. It's just a way of helping you to progress your poses a little bit further. On the power plate, Tony, there's a whole bunch of them. If you want the handle one, it's over here. You want the one with the handle on it? I got it over here. I'll take that one.
All right.
Thank you. So we're going to start lying down on our backs. Just flat down on your back, closing your eyes for a moment and just bringing your attention to your breath. So the idea of yoga is really to try and bring your focus and attention into your body, whether it's being awareness of your breath or awareness of the depth of a stretch. Those things are all centering. So just take a moment. Take a deep breath in through your nose to the bottom of your lungs so that your belly expands. Feel the sensations of that breath as it enters. And as you exhale, feel the sensation of the breath as it exits. Feel the weight of your body sink into the floor. Feel the tension drift out of your body along with the exhale. No struggles and no strains. Breathing deeply in. Exhale, melt. As you take another inhale, let your arms rise up towards the ceiling. So your belly fills with air to the bottom. As you exhale, empty your lungs and let your arms fall to the floor behind you. So reach back with your fingertips, reach forward with your heels, and just feel that long lengthening along your body. Take a deep inhale, reach back with your fingertips, reach forward with your heels, lengthening your entire body. With an exhale, let your right leg begin to float up. Let your hands come down to hold behind the right knee. So you're just pulling that right knee into your chest, your shoulders are relaxed, your jaw stays relaxed. As you take a deep inhale, your belly fills with air, feel it pressing into that right thigh. As you exhale, straighten that right leg up to the ceiling. Pull the toes down, reach the heel up. Come on in, guys. You can just find a spot. We'll sign you in later. The toes are pulled down. The heel is reaching up. Feel that stretch down the back of your calf, down the back of your hamstring. Take a deep inhale. With an exhale, pull that right knee back into your chest. So in this yoga class, we always try to focus on the breathing and move along with the exhale. Take a deep inhale to your belly. As you exhale, straighten that right leg out. Pull the heel or the toes down, reach that heel up and feel it stretching down the back of your leg. With an exhale, one more time, pull it into your chest. Breathing deeply to your belly. One more time, straightening that leg up. Get that leg as straight as you comfortably can. Pull the toe down, reach the heel up, and then you have a choice. You can either stay right here where you are, or with an exhale, lift your head and shoulders up, walking your hands to the back of your left calf. Push down into the back of your left knee just to anchor your pose a little bit. No struggles and no strains. If it feels like strain in your neck, then just look straight up as opposed to forward. Stay there or see if you can raise up a little bit higher, bringing your hands to the back of your ankle. And then slowly lower yourself back down. Just leave that right leg straight up in the ceiling. Point the toes of your right foot and slowly begin to make a little circle on the ceiling with your foot. So just twisting your ankle around in a small circle. And then take that ankle in the opposite direction, just loosening up the joints and breathe. Pull the toes down towards the face, the heel up towards the ceiling. Take a deep inhale to your belly. With an exhale, pull that right knee into your chest. So we're going to take your left hand and hold on to the top of your right knee. Your right arm comes out to the side like half of the letter T. As you exhale, slowly draw your right knee across your body towards the left, a small spinal twist. So if you'd like, you can turn your head to look at your right arm, but that's not necessary. You always want to find the expression of each and every pose that you can hold with ease. Releasing struggle, releasing strain, breathing deeply into the very bottom of your lungs, melting with an exhale. So you have a couple of options here. You can stay just as you are, or you can grab the big toe of your right foot with the first two fingers of your left hand and straighten that right leg completely out. If you can't reach it with your hands, use that strap. If you don't have a strap, they're over there by the power plate against the wall, by the hallway. No struggles, no strains. If your leg is straight, you're stretching what's called your iliotibial band from the outside of your knee to the top of your hip. There's a really wonderful expression in yoga, and the expression is stay on your own mat, which basically is a nice way of saying mind your own business. Don't worry about what the person next to you can or cannot do. Keep your focus on your breath or the feeling of your stretch. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. If you've straightened out that leg, go ahead and let it bend and then begin to roll back onto a flat back. But we're going to leave your right foot rested on the outside of your left knee. So bring yourself to a flat back. Your left leg is out straight. Your right foot is rested on the outside of your left knee. And gently just let your right knee drop towards the floor. So you bring yourself into a figure 4 position. Your right ankle rested just above your left knee. Inhale your arms to the ceiling, filling your lungs with air to the very bottom. Exhaling and letting them fall to the floor behind you. Inhale, reach back with your fingertips. Reach forward with that left heel and feel. Exhale, draw your left knee and your right ankle in towards your chest. Your hands float down to grab behind your left thigh. So this is a deep stretch of your right piriformis, your right hip muscle. No struggles, no strains. In this class, we're trying to find the expression of each and every pose that you can hold with ease, where you can bring your focus and attention back to the depth of your breath or the feeling of the stretch. Breathe. Straightening your left leg up to the ceiling, the toes pull down, the heel reaches up. Check in with your shoulders, check in with your jaw that you're not holding tension there. Feel that stretch down the back of your left leg. Breathe. You have options. You can either stay here enjoying the stretch as it is, or with an exhale, lift your head and shoulders up, walking your hands to the back of your left calf. Try to keep that left leg active. Keep reaching that heel up. Keep pulling those toes down and feel that stretch. And breathe. Slowly lowering your head and shoulders back down to the ground. Bend your left knee and let your left foot come to the floor. So your right ankle is still resting there on the top of your left knee. We're going to bring your arms next to your side, your elbows pushing gently down into the floor, your fist reaching up towards the sky. Take a deep breath into your belly. As you exhale, your belly comes to your spine. Push down on your elbows and lift your hips from the ground for a figure 4 bridge. Now, if this is too much for you, just put both feet flat on the floor and do your bridge with both feet. You still get to work your gluteal muscles. It's just not isolated to one side. You can keep pushing down into those elbows. And then slowly lower your back down to the floor, one vertebra at a time. Take a deep inhale into your belly. As you exhale, we're going to lift again, belly to the spine, push down into your elbows, lift your hips from the ground. You can stay right here like this, or you can remove your hands up to the sky in a prayer position. So you're no longer using those elbows. Remember, no struggle and no strain. Squeeze your gluteal muscles and lift a little higher. And then slowly lower one vertebra at a time to the floor. By making it a really slow and purposeful return to the floor, You're using a muscle called your multifidi. They're little muscles between each of the vertebrae in your spine, and they do a lot for stabilization. So although you can't really feel that happening, you're strengthening your spine, you're giving it integrity. We're going to do that one more time. Take a deep breath to your belly. With the exhale, your belly comes to your spine to protect your back. Push down into the floor with your elbows. Keep them there or lift your hands in prayer towards the ceiling. Stay there or lift your left heel from the floor. So you have lots of different options. Try to find the one that brings you a challenge, but still allows you to bring your focus back to the breath or the depth of a stretch or the strength of a pose. Lower the heel to the ground, lower your back to the ground, one vertebra at a time. Once your back is completely flat to the floor, just let your right leg slide over your left leg, just like a lady might sit properly cross-legged. Take your arms out to the sides like the letter T. And with an exhale, let both knees drop over towards your right. So you're just using the weight of your right knee to draw your left knee over. You're not pulling on it at all. You can turn your head to the left if that doesn't bother your neck. Close your eyes and see if you can identify an area of tightness or restriction and breathe into that area. Deeply into your belly uses what's called diaphragmatic breathing. When you breathe so that your belly expands on the inhale, as you exhale, your central nervous system will relax and calm, and that will allow your muscles to be relaxed and calmed. No struggles, no strains. And breathe. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then slowly bring your back to flat. When your back is flat, uncross your legs so that both feet are flat and both knees are bent. We're going to walk your feet up towards your body as close as you can comfortably get them, and then let your knees drop out in opposite directions. The bottoms of your feet come together. The knees drop out away from each other for a supine cobbler's pose. Now, there's a couple of ways you can modify this. If it feels uncomfortable, take your feet and slide them down further away from your body towards the end of your mat. Or you can make a fist with each of your hands and slide it under the tops of your thighs to support the pose. The idea is to find a pose where you can bring all of your focus and attention back to the depth of your breath or the feeling of the pose. If it doesn't feel good, stop and modify. Breathe. Feel the tightness, expand it with your inhale, melt it with your exhale. One more deep inhale here. Really feel the sensation of that breath as it enters through your nose to the bottom of your lungs. Feel the sensation of the breath as it leaves, taking with it any tension or tightness or restrictions. So just take your hands and bring them to your thighs. Gently use your hands to push your knees back up and together. When you've been in that pose for a minute or so, sometimes it becomes a little bit challenging to pull those knees up. We're going to straighten your right leg all the way down to the ground. We're going to pull your left knee into your chest, your hands behind the left thigh. So pull that knee in as deeply as you can to your chest, and then let your shoulders relax, let your jaw relax. Breathe into that belly so it expands and you feel it gently pressing into your left thigh. As you exhale, straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. Pull the toes down, reach the heel up. You're trying to get that leg as straight as you can. So if you want to use a strap, that's perfectly fine. Squeeze that quadricep muscle. Feel that stretch. With an exhale, gently pull the knee back into your chest. Always moving on the exhale. So take a deep inhale to your belly. With the exhale, we straighten, pulling the toes down, reaching the heel up. Breathing deeply. Exhaling slowly. Exhale, pull that knee back into your chest. One more time, fill the belly with air. Exhale, straighten that left leg, toes pulled down, heel reaching up. So you can stay right here. That's a really great choice. Or with an exhale, lift your head and shoulders up so that you walk your hands to the back of the calf of your left leg. Make sure that your right leg is engaged, pushing down into the back of your right knee, anchors the pose. You can stay here or you can lift your feet up towards your ankle. Make sure your kneecap is pointing towards your nose, not turned away. And then slowly lower your head and shoulders to the ground. Keep that knee right up in the air. That leg right up in the air. Point your toes towards the ceiling and begin to circle your ankle, just like you're drawing a small circle on the ceiling with the ankle of your left foot. Snap, crackle, pop. It doesn't mean you're old. It means you're dry. Drink some water, people. Take your ankle in the opposite direction. Just feel that ankle. Feel where it gets stuck. It's useful information. Your feet, your ankles, they're the first thing that touch the ground. They have influence on how your knee touches and how your hips feel and how your neck and your shoulders feel. One more circle, then pull that toe down, reach that heel up. As you exhale, pull your left knee into your chest. Take your left arm out to the side like half of the letter T. Your right hand rests on top of your left knee. With an exhale, draw your left knee across your body towards the right for a small spinal twist. So you have the option of turning your head to the left. If that doesn't feel good for your neck, stop. You have the option of staying right here as you are, or grabbing the big toe of your left foot with the first two fingers of your right hand and straightening that leg all the way out. If you can't reach that big toe, use a strap. Just put a strap around the bottom of your foot and use that to help you get the leg straight. Remember, the straightening of the leg is an option. If it feels like struggle or strain or tingling or numbness, stop. Tingling and numbness is a sign that you're stretching a nerve. The nerve's not going to like it for very long. Close your eyes and feel the tightness, feel the restriction, breathe into it. Release your ego's effort to go further and just allow yourself to enjoy the feeling of where you are without judgment, without a story, breathing. Squeeze that top quadricep muscle tight. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then if you've straightened out that left leg, go ahead and bend it. And then begin to roll back onto your back. So your back is flat. Your right leg is out straight. Your left foot is rested on the outside of your right knee. And then gently let your left knee drop towards the floor. That figure four position. Breathing into the bottom of your lungs, let your arms rise up towards the ceiling. Empty your lungs as your arms fall to the floor behind you. Now, if your shoulders hurt like that, just bend your elbows and bring your arms down like you're a field goal position. But if you can get those arms straight, reach the fingertips back, reach the heel forward, lengthen, take a deep inhale. As you exhale, bring your right knee and that left ankle towards your chest. Your arms float down so that you can hold behind the right thigh. So this is a deeper stretch of that left hip muscle, that piriformis. If you have back pain that goes tingling down into your leg, this piriformis is usually one of the reasons. So this is a good way to bring balance to your hips. As we get older, a lot of my patients say, I can't tie my own shoes, I can't cut my own toenails. You do this once or twice a day, you'll be fine. You won't need to go see a chiropodist. Few people even know what a chiropodist is. There you go. It's a term that nobody's used for 100 years. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, straighten your right leg. Toes come down, heel reaches up. So now you're stretching that piriformis on the left. You're stretching the hamstring and the calf on the right, the piriformis on the left, sorry. Stay here, or with an exhale, lift your head and shoulders up, walking your hands to the back of your right calf. No strain in your neck. If this feels like it strains your neck, just go down to the floor and just do the pose as you started it, without struggle, without strain. See if you can raise up just a little higher. And then slowly lower your head and shoulders back down. Slowly bend your right knee, bringing your right foot to the floor. So your back is on the floor, your right foot is on the floor, that left ankle is still resting there at the right knee. Just let the left leg slide over top of the right leg. Take your arms out to the side like the letter T. And with an exhale, let the weight of your left leg draw your right leg over to the left. You can turn your head to the right if you want to deepen that stretch. This is a rotational pose for your spine. Your spine has gelatinous discs in between each of the bones, and they are like shock absorbers. They're what are called hydrostatic systems. So that means that fluid comes in and goes out of it. So this is like wringing out a sponge, and when you come back, it's going to draw fluid in. This is one of the ways you keep those discs healthy and vibrant. Close your eyes for a moment and just bring your attention back to the depth of your breath or the feeling of the pose. No struggles, no strains. Allow your body to melt with the exhale. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then slowly come back to a flat back. When your back is flat, just uncross your legs so that both feet are flat, both knees are bent. We're going to take a cobbler's pose again. So walk your feet up towards your bottom. Let your knees drop out in opposite directions. Let the bottoms of your feet come together. If you'd like to progress this even further, just take your hands and let them rest on the top of your knees. That'll begin to draw your knees down towards the floor. Don't yank on them. Don't pull on them. Just let the weight of your hands draw them deeper. If it feels like pinching or pain, back off. Slide your feet down and further away from you at the bottom of your mat, or make fists to support those legs. Allow your body to gently open. Release your desire to force it. One deep breath into the very bottom of your lungs. Feel the belly expand. One really slow exhale. Feel that warmed air as it leaves your body. Feel the tension as it melts. And then gently use your hands to bring it back up and together. I like doing those cobbler's poses. They're a balancing pose, especially if you have low back pain. That's a really good one to do because it pulls your sacrum down and away from your lumbar spine. So what we're going to do is pull both knees into your chest, one hand behind your right knee, one hand behind your left knee, and we're going to begin to rock from head to toe. Just using the floor to massage your spine out. We're going to rock up one more time and then try to float. So the idea is to get your heels and your feet up off the ground. If you can't do that, you have a couple of options. Just let your heels rest down. You can use a block behind your back to help support the pose. If you put that there, that'll support you and keep you from rolling backwards. Find the expression of each and every pose that you can hold with ease. Lengthen your spine and lift your chest. Take it back, bring it up, and try to float again. Stay right here where you are or straighten your left leg out. So when you have that left leg out, you can still have that right heel on the ground. If you need it for balance, that's perfectly fine. Take it back. Bring it up, straightening your right leg out. Find the expression of the pose you can hold with ease. Lift your chest and lengthen your spine. So try not to round. Try to keep it long. Rock it back. Bring it up. See if you can straighten both legs out. If you can't, that's perfectly fine. Stay where you are without struggle or strain. Lengthen and lift your chest. Rock it back. Bring it up. Straighten both legs out. Stay there or remove your hands. So these are all progressions. Find the one that challenges you. Let's see who drops first. It's going to be me. Just bring it to an easy seated position for a moment. So in a seated position, you want to make sure that your spine is straight and at ease. If it's not at ease, it's another reason for one of these blocks. If you need a block or a pillow, they're over there on the little machine there, but sitting up on top of a block takes a lot of strain out of your back. So if you're sitting and your back and sit up on a block, I choose to sit up on a block because it just feels easier to me. And my yoga class, I try to think about your spine because everything moves around it. If the spine isn't good, the rest of it isn't good. Let's just release our necks a little bit. So take a deep inhale, lengthen your spine with an exhale. Gently let your chin drop down to your chest. No struggles and no strains. If you feel like pinching or pain, just lift your chin up a little bit. Find an expression of each and every pose that you can hold with ease. With your next exhale, we're going to take your right ear to your right shoulder. If you want to anchor that pose, just push your left elbow down towards the floor. Feel the stretch between your left ear and your left shoulder. Breathe in to the areas of tightness. As you exhale, release the tension. On your next exhale, your head goes back, your chin comes up. Again, no pinching, no pain, no tingling or numbness. Breathe. And then your left ear drops to your left shoulder. I just realized I totally forgot to do the bridge on the opposite side. Why don't you people tell me these things? What do you think I pay you for? You can push that right elbow down towards the floor if you'd like. We'll do it at the end. It's the way I planned it. Duh. And then let your chin drop gently to your chest. Take a deep inhale, let your chin rise up, let your arms come up towards the ceiling. So you're not trying to pinch your ears with your shoulder, with your biceps. So your shoulder blades are actually coming down your back. Breathe. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, bring your left hand to your right knee, bring your right hand to the floor behind you, and turn towards your right. So you push down into the floor with that back hand. That helps to lengthen your spine and create space. This is a motion of the spine that is in rotation. A lot of people that have neck problems, the neck doesn't move because the thoracic spine doesn't move, the lumbar spine doesn't move. So this is actually a way to increase all of those. No struggle and no strain. One more deep inhale. Really lengthen your spine like an accordion reaching up towards the sky. One slow exhale. See if you can rotate a little further. And breathe. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, slowly bring your chest back to face the front. We're going to inhale your arms up to the ceiling, lengthen. As you exhale, take it to the opposite side. Your right hand comes to your left knee, your left hand comes to the floor. You're pushing down into the floor with that back hand, rotating, breathing, releasing struggle, releasing strain. Close your eyes for a moment and be in this moment. Just feel the breath in this moment. Feel the stretch in this moment. No struggles and no strains in this moment. One more deep inhale. Really lengthen your spine. Create space so that as you exhale, you may rotate just a little further. And then bring your chest back to face the front. We're going to inhale your arms up to the ceiling. Again, shoulder blades come down your back. That's actually a stabilizer of your low back as well. The muscle goes from the bottom of your shoulder blade all the way to your hip. With an exhale, fold forward, bringing your hands to the floor, bringing your forehead towards the floor. If your forehead doesn't come to the floor, use a block or something, a pillow, a shoe, a dog, whatever you have, to support your neck so your head's not just hanging there in space. Find an expression of each and every pose where you can then bring your focus and attention back to your breath. If you'd like a little bit more of a release in this pose, just take your hands and turn them so the palms are facing up, and then gently push the back of your hands into the floor. That releases a muscle that's down on the side of your rib cage called your serratus anterior. It's one that limits motion and mobility of your shoulders. So if you have tightness in your shoulders, it's a really good way to try and release that. And breathe. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. If you're pushing in the back of your hands, just release your push. Bring your hands to your knees and use your hands to push yourself back up to an easy seated position. We're going to straighten out both legs out in front of you. Again, if it feels like you have to round your back in order to get there, sit up on a block. It takes the tension out of it. So if you're sitting flat down and you can't straighten out your legs, sit up on a block. If you feel like you're sitting up and your spine is rounded, sit up on a block, or even better, one of those pillows. So the toes are pulled back. Reach, push down into the back of your knees and feel that stretch into your hamstrings. Let your arms float up. Inhaling, exhale, just fall halfway forward. So your fingertips are pointing to where the wall meets the ceiling. As you inhale, reach out through your fingers. As you exhale, let your hands fall to the bottoms of your feet or to the ankles. This is another place where you can use a strap. Just use the strap gently wrapped around the bottoms of your feet. If you're really flexible, take your right hand over the bottom of your left foot and your left hand over the bottom of your right foot, crossing at your ankles. If you're super duper flexible, put a block at the bottom of your feet and reach for the bottom of the block. Find an expression at each and every pose that you can then close your eyes and bring your focus back to the depth of your breath, or the feeling of the stretch. Each inhale, lengthen your spine, create space so that as you exhale, you may find yourself further forward. Breathe. No struggles, no strains. Kneecaps pointed straight up. Gently push down into the back of your knees, and that'll give you just a little bit of a release in the hamstrings. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale, and then slowly begin to unfold, bringing yourself back up to a tall seated position. Taking a deep inhale. If you'd like, for support, put your hands down, push into the floor. Take a deep breath. Raise your left leg up, cross it over, touch it down. And then slide it up towards your knee. So you eventually have your left foot all the way up towards your hip. You can take both arms and wrap it around that knee. Gently drop your chin down towards it. Breathing deeply into your belly so that you feel your belly press against that thigh. If your foot doesn't get up that high, it's perfectly fine to have it down by your knee. Find the place where your spine feels at ease, where there's no pinching, there's no pain, and breathe. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, just bring your spine back up to straight. We're going to keep that right elbow just wrapped around that knee. Take your left arm up to the ceiling with an inhale. Really reach. As you exhale, bring it to the floor behind you. Push down into the floor to help lengthen your spine. And turn towards your left. No struggles and no strains, my friends. Breathe. That right leg has stayed active. You lengthen the spine with the inhale. See if you can rotate just a little further with the exhale. No struggles, no strains. Breathing. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then bring your chest back to the front. Just let your left knee drop down so you're in that figure four position again. Your hands come to the floor behind you. You can have your fingertips pointed forward or back. It's a little easier if they're pointed away from you. Bend your right knee. So this is another stretch of your piriformis. We're just going a little deeper. You get to control this by how far your knee bends. If it feels like it's too much, take your foot away from you. If you want it to be more, just bring your butt all the way down, walk your hands up, and try to get your chest to touch your ankle and your thigh. You're feeling that deep stretch in that left hip. Close your eyes and bring your attention to that feeling. If it feels like sharp or stabby or pinchy, back off. If it feels just a little bit of tight, breathe into that area, expanding it with your breath. Just imagine that as you take a deep breath, that area of tightness expands. And as you exhale, it melts. Stay right here, or walk your hands back and behind you with an exhale, lifting yourself up into a figure four tabletop. No struggles and no strains. If you're in the figure four tabletop, pull your shoulder blades together, lengthen your neck, breathe. Slowly lower your hips back down to the ground, straighten out your right leg, straighten out your left leg. Inhale your arms to the ceiling, exhale, folding forward. So remember, not every pose is for everyone. Find an expression of the poses that you can do with ease, where there's no struggle, there's no strain. Use the straps, use the blocks, use your breath. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Create space so that as you exhale, you might just go a little further. Push down into the back of your knees, into the floor, so that deactivates and allows your hamstrings to open a little bit more. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then slowly release, bringing yourself back up to a straight and tall spine. Bringing your hands to the side of the floor if you need the support. As you exhale, belly to the spine. Lift your right leg. No easy task. If you take your hands away, you'll see if it's even more work. Take it over to the side and plant it, and then slide it up. Taking both of your arms, hugging them around that right knee. So your left leg is out straight. Your right foot is on the outside of your left knee. Your arms are hugged in around it. Let your chin drop down. Feel your belly expand as you take a deep inhale. As you exhale, melt into the pose, releasing tension, releasing trying and effort. Try to keep that left leg active, the toes gently pulled back, the heel gently reaching forward, lengthening through that leg. And then bring your spine back up to straight. Leave your left elbow right where it is, hugging that knee in. Inhale your right arm up to the ceiling. Really reach. As you exhale, bring it to the floor behind you, pushing down into the floor and turning towards your right. Close your eyes if you'd like to help you find those areas of tightness or restriction and breathe into them. No struggles, no strains. Breathe. Close your eyes for a moment and just feel the next breath as it comes in through your nose, expands through your rib cage. Feel it as it slowly drizzles out of your body. Don't force it out. Allow it to drizzle out of your body along with any trying or effort. And breathe. One more deep inhale here. Really try to lengthen that spine to create space. One more slow exhale, rotating a little further if it's available to you. And then slowly bringing your chest back to face the front. Release your arm from around that knee and let your right knee drop down towards the floor. So you might be getting a stretch right here, and that's perfectly fine. If you'd like, you can bend your left knee. Bring yourself to an intermediate stretch right there, or deepen your stretch by walking your hips towards your heel. Find the place where you can hold the pose and think, this feels good. If any part of you think this sucks or I might pay for this later, then stop it. Listen to the wisdom of your body. If it hurts now, I will guarantee you it hurts later. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe into the depth of your lungs. Breathe into the areas of tightness or restriction. And as you exhale, if you can move your hips a little closer to that opposite ankle, that's perfectly fine. If you can't, that's okay too. Then stay right here or walk your hands back, and with an exhale, lift your hips from the ground for a figure four bridge. In the figure four bridge, your shoulder blades gently pull together, your neck lengthens. So reach the top of your head to the wall behind you, squeeze your glutes and lift a little higher. And then slowly lower those hips to the ground. Slowly straighten out the left leg, straighten out the right leg. One more fold forward. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhale, folding forward. So we've done a lot of work with the hips. We've done a lot of work with the hamstrings. Breathe. We're going to do a series of sun salutations in a minute. If any part of a sun salutation doesn't feel good for you, just skip it. Nobody's watching. Everyone has got my caveat of staying on their own mat. Breathe deep into your lungs, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, fold forward. We used to have a student that came to class, and I tell you, he sat in the back of class and did his own entire class the whole time, never did one thing that I did. And it was okay with me. He was, yeah, Dan the man. It was 100 years ago, wasn't it? And then slowly come up. But he would sit back here and do his own class, and I was perfectly fine with that until the one day he was the only student in class. Why are we here? So let's bend your knees, cross at your ankles, just give yourself a little hug. So this is a modification of child's pose. In child's pose, if you're doing it properly down on your knees, you're putting a lot of pressure through them. If that bothers your knees, you're getting the exact same stretch by just doing this, or even lying on your back and both knees into your chest. So see if you can, when we do child pose, take the modification if it doesn't feel good for your knees. Now remove your hands and try to lift yourself from the floor without using your hands. I have cut off my entire head on my little video. That'll never do. Due to technical difficulties, I got my head back. All right. So in the sun salutation, it's really just about gentle movement. I'm going to give you modifications. So be careful with your body. If it doesn't feel good, stop. Start by making sure that your feet are underneath your knees and your knees are underneath your hips. Your toes aren't turned out or turned in. You have them pointed straight ahead. Just a second. Lift your toes from the floor, spread them apart, and then bring them down to the floor. The wider your toes are, the more base of support you have, so that's perfectly fine. As you inhale, your arms rise up. Look up to your arms and do a small bend backwards. You don't have to bend far. If it bothers your neck, just look forward. As you exhale, swan dive forward. So bend your knees if you have a bad back. Once your fingertips touch the floor, then straighten out your legs. If your fingertips don't make it to the floor, use a block. That's perfectly fine. Your head just hangs or dangles, as we say. Push the back of your knees to the back of the room. Take a deep inhale and lift your head and shoulders to a flat back. So you can put your hands right on your calves or your thighs to support the pose. You're reaching your head towards the wall in front of you. You're lengthening with an inhale. With an exhale, you're folding forward. Again, right where you are. Again, if you don't touch the floor, use your block. Turn it up on the higher angle if you need to. No struggle or strain. Small bend in your knees. Bring your hands to the floor and either step or walk your feet back out into plank. So in plank, you have options. You can be down on your knees. That's perfectly fine. If it hurts your wrist, you can come onto your elbows. That's perfectly fine as well. Find an expression of the pose you can hold with ease. Turn the creases of your elbows forward if you have your arms straight. Pull your belly to your spine, and as you exhale, lower yourself to the floor. Your elbows right up against your rib cage. Now you can challenge yourself by floating above the floor, or you can just drop all the way down. Perfectly fine. As you inhale, lift your chin and chest. So you can stay here, or you can lift your knees from the floor. Push down into the floor to lengthen. You can do this on your elbows. Breathe. Look up to the ceiling. Curl your toes under, and as you exhale, bring it back down to the floor and down dog. So down dog can also be done on the knees. It's perfectly fine. You're just not getting the hamstring portion. You're getting the shoulder portion. It can be done on your elbows if it feels like it hurts your wrists. Let your neck relax. Let your jaw relax. The goal is to get your heels to the floor. If they don't reach the floor, just bend one knee. Work on one leg at a time, pushing the back of that knee towards the wall behind you, and then hold it for a moment or two and switch sides. We call it walking the dog. Push your hips up towards the sky. Try to get the backs of your knees towards the wall behind you and let your head just bang. If it feels like it's too much for you, just take a child's pose or a modified child's pose. Look forward to your hands and either jump or step your feet to meet your hands. Straightening your legs for forward fold. Again, using the block. If you're just dangling there and your hands aren't touching anything, use a block to support yourself. If you have a bad back, make a small bend in your knees and then slowly round up. Once your spine is straight, then straighten your legs, because that takes the hamstrings out of it. Inhaling up, Follow your breath. Your belly fills with air. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Small bend in your knees if you have a bad back. Inhale, lift to a flat back, reaching your head to the wall in front of you. Exhale, forward. Inhale, step or jump back into whatever variation of the plank you like. Creases of your elbows forward to lock in the shoulders. Exhale, elbows next to your rib cage as you come down. Inhale to up dog or cobra. Exhale to the floor and back to down dog. Breathe. Remember, if something isn't right for you, feel your body, listen to your body. Look forward to your hands, jump or step your feet to meet your hands. Straightening your legs for a forward fold. Rounding up one vertebra at a time. One more sun salutation. Inhale them up. Follow your breath. Empty your lungs on your journey to the floor. So don't try to rush. Follow the full exhale till your fingertips touch down. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders to a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step or jump back into plank. Exhale, lower to the floor in chaturanga. Inhale to up dog or cobra. Exhale to the floor and back to down dog. And breathe. Lifting your heels from the floor. Drop your knees to the floor and bring yourself into a child's pose. So remember, if the child's pose is not comfortable with your knees and your body weight on it, just lie on your back or sit down, pulling your knees into your chest. You can also take a block, put it between your calves and your thighs, and use that to separate some of the weight off of your knees, or even one of those pillows. Find an expression of child's pose that you can hold with ease, without struggle, without strain. When you breathe, feel your belly press into your thighs. As you exhale, feel yourself melt. No struggles and no strains. Breathe. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then you can slowly bring your arms forward. Slowly use your hands to push you up. Try to bring yourself into Thunderbolt. So Thunderbolt is just sitting back onto your thighs. This is a lot for some people's knees. You have a block, put it between your knees and just sit down on it to take some of the strain off of your knees. This is much more comfortable. If you're still getting a stretch of your quadricep, don't worry about whether your pose looks like everybody else's. It's not important. Hands into heart center. Just bringing your attention to your breath. Bringing your attention to the gentle stretch on your quadriceps. Staying right here or dropping your hands to the floor and walking yourself back. You're just taking a deeper stretch here. So don't worry about whether you can get there or not. Just keeping your hands behind you or dropping all the way down to your elbows. Don't worry about where you get to. Just find an expression of the pose that you can hold with ease, without struggle, without strain. Breathe. One more deep inhale there. One more slow exhale. And then begin to press yourself back up. Once you're back up into Thunderbolt, we're going to take it hips to the floor. So just drop your hips from one side to the other. We're going to bring your legs out in front. Toes pulled back, heels reaching forward, lengthen your spine. Bring your hands next to yourself on the floor and just do a small lift, your hips up off the floor. Let your butt just hang. Compression, it decompresses your spine. Push down, just let your belly be as relaxed as you can. Feel that lower part of your body pulling down on the spine, releasing pressure. And one more time. Exhale, don't hold your breath and push down. If you want to strengthen your shoulders, you can do little pulses. That's a really great way to get your shoulders really strong in what's called scapular depression. And then release your hands, bring your arms forward. We're going to make our way down to the floor. If you have a bad back, just bend your knees and lower yourself with your arms. If you'd like to work on strengthening to your spine, don't hold your breath. Lower one segment down at a time and breathe. No struggles, no strains. Close your eyes for a moment. Just bring yourself to stillness. So final relaxation is meant to be a pose where your body integrates all of the information into the neural system, your nerves that tell your brain, and it grows your brain. It connects new neural pathways. So a lot of people in yoga classes will get up and leave this part. They just think, oh, I can't lay there in stillness. The whole idea of this pose is to try to allow your body time to incorporate what it is you just did, to burn new neural pathways between your ankle and your brain for balance, between your hips and your brain for strength, between your core, that pulling in of your belly activates what's called your transverse abdominis. It's a muscle that gets weak on most of us because we sit in a chair all day long. We don't use it. So it reconnects your brain to those and allows them to work. So just take a really deep breath in through your nose. Feel the sensation as that breath enters. As you exhale, allow yourself just to release all of your tension and melt into the floor. Connect to your breath here for just another moment. So I'm going to ask you to even bring more awareness to your breath, a deeper awareness. As you take a deep breath into your belly through your nose, as your lungs are filled to capacity, notice the small little pause at the top of that inhale before it becomes an exhale. Just notice that pause and then let the air out. At the bottom of your exhale, when your lungs are empty, see if you can notice that small pause before you start to inhale. What I'd like you to do is for the next few breath cycles, just find those pauses and bring your attention to it. Find the pause at the top of your inhale, the pause at the bottom of your exhale. If your mind wanders or becomes distracted, just bring it back to that breath, to those pauses that begin and end your breath cycle. And then what I'd like you to do is add in the attention to the sensations of your breath. So as you inhale, feel that breath as it enters through your nose, filling your lungs, expanding your rib cage. Notice the pause at the top. And then feel the warmth of that exhale as it leaves your body. Feel the deflation of your lungs and your rib cage. And feel the pause at the bottom of your exhale. Counting backwards each of those breath cycles from 10 to 0. If you lose your count, don't worry about it. Start again. But see if you can count silently back to yourself each of those breath cycles, including the pauses and the sensation of the breath. And then I'll ask you to release your breath and let your mind come to stillness. Let any distraction or thought that crosses your mind be noticed, but make the choice not to attach to it, not to give it a story. Just notice it and let it drift. Like a cloud you might see in the sky, it drifts away without attachment. Become the observer of your mind. Notice where it tries to take you. Notice how it tries to pull you from stillness, but make the choice to bring it back to stillness. And then we'll slowly start to bring attention back to your body by just wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes, just bringing awareness to those small joints as they move. So just focus your awareness on the sensations of moving your fingers and moving your toes. Spread your fingers apart, spread your toes apart, and just feel the space between your fingers. Feel the space between your toes. And then curl your fingers into a fist, curl your toes under, and feel the skin as it stretches over your knuckles, over the tops of your feet. And let your hands relax, let your feet relax. Take a deep breath and let your shoulders draw up towards your ears. As you exhale, slide your arms down the floor towards the bottom of your feet and just feel that stretch between the shoulders and the neck. And then let your shoulders just come to relaxed. Begin to rock your head from side to side, just gently letting it rock one side to the other, moving it around in whatever way feels good. And then let your head just come to rest wherever it finds itself. As you fill your lungs to the bottom, inhale, take your arms up to the ceiling. As you empty your lungs, exhale, take your arms to the floor behind you. As you inhale, reach back with your fingertips, reach forward with your heels, and reach in opposite directions, feeling that gentle stretch. As you exhale, draw your knees into your chest, let your hands float underneath of your knees, behind your thighs, and just gently pull them into your chest, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your jaw. You can begin to rock from side to side, just gently allowing your spine to move side to side. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your right side. Lie there in a fetal position for just a moment. Support your head with a block. Support your head with your hands made into pillows. And just notice the sensations of the breath one more time. Inhale through the nose. Feel that breath as it enters. Exhale. Feel the sensation of the breath as it exits. And then when you're ready, gently push yourself up to an easy seated position. Easy seated position is anyone, again, where your spine is straight and at ease. So sit up on a block, sit up on a pillow, sit up on anything you'd like. Pair of shoes, small child, whatever you have, whatever's laying around. Let the backs of your hands come to rest on the tops of your knees. Close your eyes and take a lengthening breath. Reach the top of your head to the sky, lengthening your spine. And with an exhale, see if you can hold that tall and lengthened posture. Take another deep inhale, lengthening your spine. As you exhale, let your hands float up into a prayer position at the center of your chest. Let your chin gently drop. You guys have done a wonderful job once again. No class next Saturday. I'm moving on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment in the Sky. Namaste. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye, y'all. Good job. Yeah, we're going to do the bridge now. No, I was going to do it, and then I ran out of time, so I'm sorry. Da-da. Brilliant.
Bill, where's your new place?
I'm sorry?
Where's your new place?
Well, I'm going down to Riverside.